Ah, hello there, and welcome to 13th century Europe.
Silhouettes taking place right on this field. Shadows of manifested painting wall. There was a hero who took out all foes. A little journey memory with you.
It appears that we have arrived exactly in the year 1349. Unfortunately for you, that means we're at the height of one of the worst epidemics in history, the infamous Black Death. The Black Death was a major outbreak in the Old World that lasted from 1346 to 1353. It killed at least over 30 million people, if not more, and while at the time they didn't notice, the probable cause for the disease was the bacteria Yersinia pestis. It infected people by these little fleas, which basically sopped up the blood of infected rats, and whenever they got it close enough to somebody, months. Oh. Unfortunately for you, it seems like one of them has bitten you in this case. You probably have to rely on what people had at the time. You should also probably hurry up, as the mortality rate wasn't too pretty either. There are 3 groups of people attempting to clear the Black Death at this time, so pick your poison. We have the current medical community. They're not that advanced as, well, modern medical communities, but they have some reasoning. We also have on the other corner, the religious, those who believe that the way to clear the plague was appeasing God or putting faith on Him. And finally, we have the frickin' reball guys, who were basically the wackiest figments possible. They stuck to whatever logic seemed reasonable to them. The medical community at the time went by 2 major theories relating to how the disease spread. Firstly, the theory of the 4 humors by Hippocrates, which was the idea that disease was caused by the imbalance in 4 bodily humors or liquids. Secondly, the miasma theory, which basically suggested that the spread of the diseases was bad air. Now, I know this sounds weird, but just stick around, it gets weirder somehow. Thus, when the medical community came up with responses to the Black Death, they stuck to these principles. For example, many doctors would drain blood from the body in order to drain the bad blood, either by cutting veins or sticking leeches to your skin to drain it. This wasn't very effective, as in fact, surprisingly, draining blood from sick people made them weaker. There were other methods involving miasma, mostly. Methods go from as, well, rudimentary as incense and even early perfumes to try and drive away the bad air, telling the nobles to book it to the countryside for better smells. And then we have the case of Pope Clement the Sixth. During the outbreak, a large portion of his cardinals basically succumbed to the Black Death. So, fearing for his life, he asked physicians for help. Oh dear lord, how are we supposed to stop this plague from spreading more and killing me? Don't worry, I have a plan.
This is fine.
Yep, he did actually surround himself with fire for several days to avoid catching the plague. The best part was that it actually worked. Probably because no flea, rat, or even sick human would want to approach the Pope sitting in a ring of fire. What about religion? Well, they believe that the Black Death was imposed by the wrath of God himself, so the way to treat it was by pleasing him in some way or form to get him to pardon us. This could be done through penance, which could be achieved by fasting, procession, becoming more devout, or even whipping yourself in the back constantly while bare in front of hundreds of people. Wait, what? Yes! The Flatland movement was a movement that emerged in Austria around the year 1348, and it quickly spread to the rest of the HRE. They were basically a group of people who went around flagellating themselves in public across towns as punishments for their sins and those of humanity. Pope Clement VI would ban them later due to how not fun they were to watch, and also they were spreading the plague more by accident. There were other religious fears such as constant prayers, attending mass, and even idols and religious items that were supposed to drive away the plague. Some especially angry people will decide to take it out on the local scapegoat ethnicity. Unsurprisingly, a microscopic virus didn't really care for how much they prayed or did not pray. In fact, this lack of effectiveness by religious treatments led to a loss of confidence in the church in Europe, which eventually led to much more down the line. And finally, let's look at some maniacs. They didn't really have any singular unifying belief. Probably any of them would have their own form of idea of what caused the Black Death, though some of them did believe in the miasma or bodily humors, just in their own special way. One of the most famous quack treatments was the vicary method, which involved basically tying a live chicken to a person after taking off the feathers in the plump. As get this, they fought chickens free from the bottom of their bodies, and so by tying the chicken, it would inhale the plague. We also had the use of onions to attempt to drain the pus from the big black balls that emerged on many victims, and drive out miasma. There were also many more whack treatments that we don't know or I haven't told here, but needless to say, they weren't really known for their effectiveness. Think of like snake oil con artists, but much more chickens and onions. Medieval Europe was definitely not equipped to deal with the outbreak of the Black Death, and many groups of people sure had many different views on what caused it, and that would change what type of treatments they would use. Sure, we may see some of them as insane, cause kind of they were, but for these people, they were their last hope, and this was true, no matter which perspective you were on, from wanting to appease God or wanting to drive away bad air. Anyways, let's get to clear. Oh. Oh, hey, buddy.
ダメだねダメよダメなのよあんたが好きで好きすぎてどれだけ強いお酒でも
Plague doctors did not wear plague masks in the 14th century, and I hate this misconception.